You feel like the cost of living is getting worse. That's because of inflation. You go to the shops, buy the same stuff you always buy, and somehow spend £20 more than last month. And that's me being kind to inflation. The dark chocolate I buy has gone from £2 to £3.50 in just 2 years. Inflation is bad, but in my opinion, there are a few potential solutions. Today, I'm going to show you what inflation actually is, the simple version, and 3 investments so you can beat inflation, or at least match it. And the third has been my best investment by a mile after investing for the last 24 years. Part 1, what inflation actually is. People overcomplicate inflation, but the best explanation comes from a simple idea. Inflation happens when there's more money than actual stuff to buy. Imagine a small town with one supermarket. One day the government drops off free money and makes loans really cheap. Suddenly, everyone in the town feels rich. They rush to the supermarket to buy more stuff, more food, more clothes. But there's a little problem. The manager and staff don't have enough stuff. So what happens? They raise prices. And that's inflation. Too much money with too many goods, with too few goods. And we've all lived through this over the last few decades. Governments printing money, stimulus checks, supply chains breaking, everyone spending at the same time. The result, prices have jumped across the board. Food, petrol, mortgages because of interest rates, rent, literally everything. Your £100 now buys what £92 bought last year. Not exact, but hopefully you get the point. If that pace keeps going, it gets scary fast. To be totally honest, I don't understand how they work inflation out, like the 3 to 4% you will see in mainstream media. The macro experts I follow, people like Raoul Pal, Sim Kidd, are saying inflation is more like 10% or even higher. But here's the good news. You don't have to be a victim of inflation. There are smart, simple ways to beat it, and I'll give you 3 of them over the next few minutes. If you are serious about investing and potentially beating inflation, hit subscribe so we can build wealth together. Part 2, 3 ways to beat inflation. I'm not offering any guarantees, this is just my opinion. 1, match inflation with index funds. Inflation averages 2 to 4% long term, and the stock market averages 10% per year. Then in the long run, you beat inflation. You grow your wealth, you do it without guessing, trading, or gambling. Think of index funds like owning little pieces of the entire economy. When prices rise, companies charge more. When companies charge more, profits rise. When profits rise, share prices rise. So by owning an index fund, your money automatically grows with inflation, plus the growth of the economy. It's like saying, all good, inflation, do what you want. My money rises as well. This is why index investors sleep much better at night than people trying to time the market. If you're like me and you agree with the macro experts I mentioned earlier, and you think inflation is more like 10% because of currency debasement, you might think you need to go higher risk. What we're moving on to next. Just to be clear, I do love index investing, mainly because it's stress-free, and I think it's the ideal starting point for anyone starting to invest. That's why I talk about it literally all the time on this channel. 2, beat inflation with Bitcoin. Potentially beat inflation. As you can probably guess, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't me giving out financial advice. I'm not an expert, not even close. Today's video is me just trying to help you with my experience, like telling you how bad inflation is and how important investing is. Anyway, back to Bitcoin. Here's the thing. Governments print money. Bitcoin doesn't. It has a fixed supply of 21 million tokens, predictable issuance, no central bank pulling strings. In a world where traditional money can be diluted overnight, Bitcoin is designed to protect purchasing power over long periods. Historically, Bitcoin hasn't just matched inflation, it has destroyed it, especially during years of heavy money printing. Let me give you an example. If you would have invested £500 every single month into Bitcoin over the last 10 years, your average return would have been 71.4%. And after 10 years of consistent investing, you would have had £8.6 million. I don't think you'll get anything like that, them sort of returns over the next 10 years, but I do think you'll still beat inflation by investing into Bitcoin. Is it volatile? Yes. Should it be 100% of your portfolio? Probably not. But as a long-term inflation hedge, it's really powerful. Think of it like digital gold for the modern world, modern economy. You could go 80% index funds and 20% Bitcoin, for example. 3, really beat inflation by investing in yourself. Here's something nobody talks about. Inflation can't destroy your income if your skills make you more valuable every single year. When you invest in yourself, you create higher earning potential, new streams of income, opportunities inflation can't touch, a financial future nobody can print away. Let me give you a personal example. In 2010, I went back to college to get more engineering qualifications because I wasn't happy as an electrician. 2 years later, my income actually doubled. Investing in myself, as I said at the start, has easily been my best investment to date. Here's what you could do starting now, today. Learn a high income skill, start a business, get better at what you already do. Build something that compounds. You can beat inflation by investing into assets, but how you really beat inflation is when your income grows faster than prices ever can. Investing in yourself is the only asset that doesn't crash, doesn't get taxed the same way, doesn't depend on markets. It grows for your entire life. It's the ultimate inflation hedge, in my opinion. Summary. Inflation isn't your biggest enemy. Being unprepared is. I'm fully aware of how bad inflation is, and I really hope you do after watching this video. And now you know exactly how to protect yourself with index funds to match inflation, Bitcoin to outpace it, and if you invest in yourself, you can potentially destroy it. But what if you now know how bad inflation is and you do want to start investing into something like low-cost index funds? The problem is you're not sure what index fund to buy. Well, if you see below, you'll find a video telling you how to pick the right index fund for 2026.